God dagen! It's me, Gunilde, with my project pile number 22. I know, am I gonna call this a podcast? Like, I feel like podcast should be longer than 10 to 20 minutes. I don't know. So yeah. In my project pile, I have a little chat about yarn, about knitting, crochet, what I'm doing, like my cast-ons and what I'm working on, what I finished. Unfortunately, I don't have anything finished this week, but I do have some projects. So yeah. Shoe. Let's see. Actually, let's start with the scarf that I started on last week. Got this far, and you know the skein. I'm using this old Sunscreen chili yarn that my mother got from her friends. It's a bit weird. I mean, it's 100% polyamide. I mean, it's really, really pretty. Like, it's got these balls on these fluffy type of yarn, and it's really weird to knit with because it feels a lot like a very soft fishing line. It's really weird. But, you know, when you got it knit up or worked up, it's so soft, it's nice. But it's weird. It's weird to touch, but yeah. So, I have two skeins of this wonderful, wonderful blue color and two of this like green blue. I mean, it's more like a sea type of color. Like, this reminds me of the sea. No, sure, you know. So but the yarn did a little bit of weird thing. So I started on the first skein of this chili. And so far I've gotten this much, but this skein did a weird thing. Like, when it comes to yarn, knots are common. Like, the standard is, I believe, maximum 3 knots per skein. Maximum. If you have more than 3 knots, that's probably grounds to complain. And you know, things sometimes happen in production that's just weird. I've never had this happen though. Like, alright, so here's the end of not the skein. This is the end that I reached. This was at the center of the skein. So, I mean, at least I didn't, you know, knot them together, but has this ever happened to any of you? Like, I have never had this happen to me before, and I'm a little weirded out. But yeah. Anyway, so I'm not sure just how much of a scarf this is gonna be. I mean, I am very close to being done with one skein, and I have 4 skeins, but maybe I should have made this scarf skinnier, because if this is about a quarter, maybe a little bit more, then ding ding ding, well, maybe it's enough. It's gonna be weird. I'm gonna need to use all 4 of these skeins, so just to make a single scarf. So I'm thinking, actually, if 1/4 is blue, I'm gonna do a green and a blue and a green, if that would be cool. Or if I do 2 skeins of the blue and then switch to green. But maybe that would be too weird. I don't know. Gonna have to figure that one out. But this is a side project, so this isn't a anything that I'm gonna like worry about. I'm not gonna develop a headache for this. It's just, this is to the side. It's just a fun thing to grab. Yeah. Because my main project that I have right now is my, what's it called? I keep forgetting. It's the Drops Design Lasso. I'm gonna link to the pattern on the Garn Studio website, just in the description box. I've got 5 centimeters to go off with the raglan increases. No, wait, sorry. I am halfway done with the increases. I've got 5 centimeters to go before I switch over to the white. So, now glasses off. Zzz. Yeah, so obviously it goes further down, but needles. So yeah. Oh. This is gonna be such a nice thick pullover. It's gonna be so pretty. I really love the stitching on this too. So with this I'm using the Ice Yarns Merino Chunky, holding 3 threads together. Knitting on 12mm, and now I'm going to switch over to the 50mm when I finish the this part, the collar thing. And I mean my creases aren't exactly pretty. There are holes because apparently when you're doing the increases you have to twist the stitch before you knit, and I didn't always manage to twist them off. I mean, some places it manages, and other places like meh. But it's pretty, like it. Now obviously Garden Studio, they aren't using ice yarns in their pattern. They're using their own yarn, which is called Drops Melody. I actually had a look at my local coffee shop / yarn store. I didn't have any like gloves with me, so, and honestly I didn't have a mask either because masks aren't mandatory here in Iceland. But I felt bad about going in there without a mask because I know that the owner, her health is a bit delicate and I want to keep her safe. But I forgot to bring a mask and I didn't have any gloves, so I didn't touch anything. Like, and when it comes to yarn you want to have your hands in everything, but I didn't have gloves. So I was like skimming the shelves and looking at the yarn, and I'm like, I want to touch but I'm not going to touch. Totally want to touch. And I was looking for a book that she had a few months ago about crocheting like dishcloths. I have the my book with knitted dishcloths, and the author has another book just with the crochet dishcloths, and unfortunately the books weren't there, so you know, I just want to look at the yarn instead. I'm not quite sure if she has the melody yarn. I do have, she has the drop air, and I was just, drop air is such a pretty yarn. It's like super droopy and it's bulky, and I'm like, ah, oh, so pretty, but I forgot to check if she had the melody. But yeah, if she does, I may actually make this sweater again, because I mean I have the knitting needles, and I do want to support my local yarn store, and if this pullover turns out to be like an absolute dream, then having 2 pullovers from separate, like, different materials is probably not a stupid idea. Right? It's totally not just because I want to buy more yarn. I do though, I'm a yarnaholic. I have a basket over at Ice Yarns and I'm like, I so want to buy more. There's so much beautiful yarn out there. Ice Yarns has such a plethora, just magnitudes of yarns that I want to touch and get my hands on and just try something out. But as I said before, I am on a I almost said commitment, but yeah, I am currently on a yarn diet. She says, having just proclaimed her desire to buy more yarn to make. But anyway, that's a local yarn store. Okay, that's it. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so I am kinda on a yarn diet because I want to use some of the yarn that I have, and I'm actually doing a pretty good job because I started on this one, started on this thing. So I'm using up my yarn that I do have. Plus I don't exactly have, you know, the space for more yarn. But I want it. Anyway, so excuse the tone. So it's just, the world has so many wonderful yarns and I want to try them all. But yeah, anyway, so continuing with my yarn diatribe, insert word, fancy word of your choice. I am doing pretty well. Where was I going with this? So yeah, I went on a tangent, like, as you do. But, actually, today is Sunday. That is the 23rd of August 2020. Yesterday, I found on Pinterest, now I've seen it a couple of times on Pinterest, it's like a crochet cocoon cardigan. It's a lot of versions on so many patterns. So I saw one version, I'm like, okay, come check that one out. I'm gonna link it down below because it's so simple. Like, okay, so the lady who's is it a blog page? Yeah. Anyway, so wonderful lady, very well written description of the pattern, and she has a lot of very good pictures also. Pattern isn't originally hers. It is originally from the Lion Brand website, and she actually links to where the pattern used to be. The Lion Brand website doesn't have it anymore. Luckily, she has it written down on her page, and she also has written down what she did differently. So, if I remember correctly, the original pattern used Lion Brand's, I want to say homespun. You can get it like, obviously online. I think you can get it, I forgot to check. You can get it on Amazon. Maybe you can get it on I don't know. I'm talking. Anyway, so the original pattern used Lion Brand homespun, which is this like very bulky yarn because they are using a 9mm crochet hook, and they cast on 85 stitches. She, however, was using, I forgot to check, it's did I write it down? No, I didn't write it down. I was gonna write it down. I need to check. Alright, so it is gatheringbeauty.com. It's Emma. Thank you, Emma, for writing this down. And the yarn that she uses is Bernat Softy Chunky yarn. And she cast on 120 stitches, and she uses a 4.5mm. Do I have one close by? Okay, it's not within easy reach, but I mean 4.5mm. I don't know what that is in like. I'm not sure if those are US or UK terms, but a 4.5mm is a size 7. Which one of you uses like letters? Because I remember somewhere that they are. Someone uses like letters H and K and da da da. I'm like, who does? I don't know, but yeah. So it's on this page. She uses the size 7 or 4.5mm. Anyway, off on a tangent. So obviously I don't have like Lion Brand homespun, and I don't have Bernat Softy Chunky. What I did have, and I do have, is 4 packages of this yarn from Ice Yarns. It's a Sail Winter, Pink Lilac. I checked, they don't have it available anymore, but I have 4 packs of this, and now if I finally have a use for it, and something that's, because I do have my own like cocoon cardigan that I bought some years ago, and it's super comfortable to just throw on, and just it's perfect for lazing around. Words, I'm getting excited. It's one of these garments that's so perfect to just throw on when you just pretty much lazing around at home. Don't recommend like vacuuming when you're wearing one. At least not the one that I have. It's very slouch, it's very soft, and it really slips easily off your shoulders, but it's really comfortable for when you're just relaxing, when you're reading and or knitting. So anyway, this pattern that Emma was such a gorgeous human being to share, it's so simple. So the yarn that I have, I think it's a recommended 5mm like knit needles. I can't remember whether you go up or down when it comes to crochet, so I don't know if that's recommended. Probably down though. So I can imagine you could like use a 4mm when crocheting with this. And this yarn, listen, this is one of the reasons why I am going to get a new camera, because this one does not autofocus, so I can't show you what the thread looks like. I'm gonna need to take a picture and find out how to put it in the video. But the thread, it's so kind of looks like a braided effect, so it's really cute. And this yarn is 50% wool, 30% acrylic, and 20% polyamide. And as I said, I have 4 packages of these. And what I'm doing with it is I am holding 2 threads together. And I'm using a 7mm crochet hook. The thing is though, see, here's the end of one ball, and here's the end of the other. So bit of difference. So interesting. I might start with another ball soon. Just anyway. So the thing is, so I'm using this yarn and 7mm crochet hook. I cast on, I think, either 100 or 101 stitches. I'm not quite sure. And you just crochet in the simplest beginner stitch. You just crochet up a rectangle, and when you're either done with the yarn or you reach the length that you want, you fold it in half. You whip stitch together up the sides, leave a pretty good opening for your hands. Hey Presto, you have a cardigan. That's so cool. And also, I mean, it's a nice side project to the knitting. So now I did mention that I am seriously thinking about, and I am planning to buy myself a new camera. See, here's the thing, I love this camera. It is absolutely fantastic. But it's a photography camera. It's meant to be it's designed to take pictures. You can take like videos like this, but it's a bit frustrating. It works, and I'm not complaining about the quality, but it's frustrating because, as I said before, this one doesn't have like a flip screen that flips. So I don't know what I'm doing when I'm sitting on this side. Also, this camera allows me to talk for about 10, maximum 11 minutes, and then just suddenly shuts off, and I don't know where it actually stopped recording, because it stops recording at some point and then it shuts off. I don't get any warning when it stops recording. So that's a bit frustrating. Also, because I film these videos with this camera, I have taken this camera and put it in a little box inside my head that says record. Right. So I don't use this camera to take pictures, which is the reason why I bought it in the first place. I'm not using this camera to take pictures because I've decided this camera is for recording. With this, yeah. So I actually had a few weeks ago, I did have my eyes on a camera that looked so good, and it had like, what's it called, 2 memory cards that came with it, and a lot of things. And from my experience, because I'm not really experienced with when it comes to buying tech, like, you'd think I get used to it, but no. It looked really good. And then suddenly one day it wasn't available anymore. And, I found it on Amazon, and Amazon just said, yeah, it's not available and we don't know if it's going to be available again. I'm like, well? So I checked the comments. Most comments were absolutely just 5 stars, just this is such a good buy, this is such a good deal, so good. There was a single 1-star comment. Single 1-star review. And first off, the grammar was very, very nice. It was a very, very good grammar. And it just said, this is a scam. This camera is absolutely not worth the price. It's not worth a tenth. Basically so yeah, with this camera it's like there's a single 1-star review and then the camera is no longer available? Right, so yeah, that's a bullet there. I do have another camera that I am seriously thinking about buying. And see, here's the thing. I have found the same camera in a store here in Iceland where I think they do send to Iceland. Send to Iceland. Wow. And the same store that sends to Iceland. Mwah. That makes sense, couldn't it? I'm not quite sure if they ship to outside Reykjavik. I haven't tested it out, but so this this camera is a Sony vlog camera. At the time when I put it on my cart in the Amazon UK, with the shipping and import fees and deposit and all that, it came to about £760. The USA, I don't know how much it costs there because they do not offer shipping on this product. They do not offer shipping to Iceland, but I can't get it through UK. Anyway, so the price on the camera in Iceland, as I said, the camera itself on the UK website was about £700. In Icelandic kronas, the camera that is in the Icelandic store is about 160,000 Icelandic kronas, so it's about £882 or $1,155. So this is about the 3rd time this camera has shut down on me just this time. So yes, I am going to be buying a new camera. And I'm going to buy it through the Amazon because the Icelandic is just... I'm sorry, the difference in pricing is just too much, because that doesn't even include shipping from Reykjavik to where I live. And that might just be absolutely, insane. So, on the agenda for the next week, I am going to continue knitting this thing. I'm going to continue knitting this thing. It's going to be so much fun. And I'm going to continue crocheting this rectangle that will eventually turn into a cocoon cardigan. Like the word cocoon cardigan. So yeah, do this, buy a new camera that I can actually use to record something without fear that it's going to shut down on me and not, stop me from talking. So, I have my plans. I have been talking a lot. Yeah. So I'm gonna shut. I'm gonna stop talking before the camera shuts me up yet again. So yeah. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bless, bless.